Thank you. Mr. Speaker, yesterday the Prime Minister gave a speech, a depressing speech. He said that in his youth there was a lot of opportunity, but that the future for our young people would not be as good as his past had been. He said that young people need to make sacrifices. Sacrifices? That's what young people have been making for the last 10 years under the Liberals. The Liberals have doubled the cost of housing, they've taken away jobs, and they've created intergenerational debt. Young people have to sacrifice more. What do they have left to sacrifice? The Honourable Minister of Government Transformation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know what young Canadians have sacrificed in the last election? They sacrificed a pessimistic, negative, critical vision of Canada from the leader of the official opposition. They chose a serious leader, an ambitious government, Mr. Speaker, that is uniting the Canadian economy to create opportunity. We're talking about $215 billion for Canada's GDP. We're talking about major projects from one end of the country to the other. They're going to create great jobs for the future.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, apparently the minister didn't listen to the Prime Minister's speech last night when he said that young people are going to have to make sacrifices. They're going to have to sacrifice even more. That's after 10 years of the Liberals. And they forced 3 major sacrifices on our youth. They've made the cost of housing unaffordable. They've killed jobs with the worst jobs numbers in 30 years. And they've created intergenerational debt. Why not propose an affordable budget so that our young people can have an affordable life? The Honourable Minister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And every day, here in this House, at every question period, the gulf between this career politician, the leader of the opposition, and an economist who has private sector experience like the Prime Minister gets wider and wider and more obvious for Canadians. What the Prime Minister said yesterday is that we're going to spend less to invest more, that we're going to have a transformational budget with the biggest capital investments in years to create jobs for young people from one end of the country to the other.
Speaker, yesterday, the Prime Minister made a very depressing speech to Canada's youth. He said they would have to make more sacrifices. More sacrifices. After 10 Liberal years that doubled the cost of housing and drove out the possibility that youth could own their own home. After the sacrifice of their jobs, with the worst employment numbers since the 1990s. After the sacrifice of a lifelong of shouldering high debt. Young people need hope, jobs, and homes. Why won't the Prime Minister reverse his disastrous decade of policies so that we can restore that hope?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Labour.
Mr. Speaker, I had the honour of presenting red seals to 3 new apprentices of the IBEW in Local 230, Victoria, BC. Mr. Speaker, they're proud of what they accomplished. They're optimistic about the future because, Mr. Speaker, we are going to put them to work. Mr. Speaker, we're going to build homes. We're building major infrastructure projects in the national interest. Thousands of jobs, thousands of opportunities for apprenticeship. Mr. Speaker, while the Conservatives come to this House and talk Canada down every day, we're going to be supporting workers who are building Canada up.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
3 apprentices, Mr. Speaker. That does not account for the countless job losses, the highest jobless rate in 30 years outside of COVID caused by this government. Nor does it account for the doubling of housing costs so that 80% of young people believe they will never be able to afford a home. But yet the Prime Minister tells our youth that they have to sacrifice even more. All he offers is more costs, more debt, and more despair when Canadians actually need is more homes, more jobs, and more hope. Why won't he introduce an affordable budget for an affordable life?
The Honourable Secretary of State.
Every day, the Conservatives come to this House and talk down the Canadian economy. We are supporting our workers, Mr. Speaker. We are going to build, Mr. Speaker. Build bold. Build now with Canadian lumber, with Canadian Steel and Canadian Unionized Worker, Mr. Speaker. We are defending our workers, Mr. Speaker. We'll be there for Canada. I hope the Conservatives join us.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, apparently nobody over there watched the depressing, miserable, hopeless speech the Prime Minister gave to Canadian youth yesterday. He said that Canadian youth need to sacrifice more, Mr. Speaker, when in fact quite the opposite is true. Mr. Speaker, the youth of this country have sacrificed enough. They can't afford homes, they can't get jobs, and now they have a generational lifetime of debt to shoulder. What Canadian youth need is homes, jobs, and hope. Yesterday, I provided the Prime Minister with a plan to do it. Will he put that hopeful plan in his budget?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
The only person who's miserable when the Prime Minister speaks, Mr. Speaker, is the Leader of the Opposition. What the Prime Minister is talking about is spending less and investing more. Investing in what? In careers for young people, in building major national projects, in being a technology leader in the world today with Premier Ford leading the world in small modular nuclear reactors. Mr. Speaker, the young people of this country are proud to be Canadians. They're proud to see a future from coast to coast to coast in this country. The young people of this country have a bright future.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
It is too bad that minister didn't write the Prime Minister's speech yesterday, because it wouldn't have bored and depressed to tears all of those poor students stuck in that room. There he spoke about how they would have to sacrifice more and that it would take time to reverse all of the misery that is built up over the last 10 years. Mr. Speaker, young people want to have homes. They want to have jobs. They want to have hope. They want a budget that is affordable so they can have a life that is affordable. Will the Prime Minister introduce that budget so that Canadians can restore the promise of their country?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, you can be sure we are going to introduce a budget. The question is whether the Leader of the Opposition is going to support that budget, because here's what that budget's going to do. It's going to give young people all over this country the ability to stand up and say, that's where my future lies, in Canada, in skilled trades, in technology, in the professions, in careers that are going to give me and my family hope, a home, a community, a job, a future, the best country in the world. Let's build Canada.
L'honorable député.
The Honourable Member for Saint-Jean.